Good Sunday to you all. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Wonderful. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Welcome the Story Wrens who are with us today. You can find their names right inside your bulletin this morning. If you don't know me, my name is Jason. I'm the called pastor here at UCC Petaluma. I see some new faces in the room, some faces who have been here, I think, maybe longer than I've been alive. Thank you for all of you who make a beautiful place here. We have a very special Sunday for you, the second of two, with our special guests, Theodine and Gabriela de Golia, who are here from rural Vermont, where Thew is pastor to the Newfane Church. And have brought with them just their wonderful sense of both a remembering ancient sense of church and a keeping of it. And this Sunday we are going to keep with abandon. Each of you received a beautiful piece of art glass, I hope. If you didn't receive that as you came in, something like this. This piece of glass is to be with you during this hour such that you might hold it in a way that's meaningful to you. And to whatever extent that the themes of healing and inspiration and empowerment come to you this Sunday, we hope that you will make these a part of this art glass, and they will then be hung for you in the sukkah, which eventually will become the stable and tell the great story of our traditions here. A couple of bits of news. I think we ran out of bulletins, which is a lovely but unfortunate thing. Thank you all for being here. Is there anyone who needs a bulletin? I have one extra here. Lovely. Okay. Beautiful. You will notice this morning there are extensive readings. And in that, I wanted to let you know that Gabriela has done quite a bit of work, as I do every week, in working with original languages and interpretation to do something I imagine she will be speaking about, which is to bring the scripture into a new expression based in ancient language and other etymological work she does. It's wonderful to be the one reading it instead of doing it this week. Thank you for that. So you'll hear that as Star, our reader, reads those. You'll also notice that we are going to combine a couple of elements so that we don't run too late, because we have a really exciting after time this Sunday. So you'll note that the embodied remembrance, which is on the right side of your bulletin after the readings, is going to be combined with prayerful silence earlier in our hour. If you, Scott, could give me the next slide. It's thinking. There it is. Welcome to Oak Lawn United Methodist Church in Dallas, Texas, where in response to the governor and their exclusion and marginalization of queer peoples, the church, being a United Methodist church, if you follow church news, I don't blame you if you don't, the United Methodists have been through it in the last 5 years. And this congregation chose to make a very bold statement in Dallas, Texas, about how all people, as we say here, all of you is welcome. And I just wanted to begin our day with that and celebrate how folks in as far away a land as Texas might feel to us are speaking a language I think we all understand. In addition to that, wanted to make sure you have all marked your calendars for next Sunday, November 16th, where we'll have a very special and important second hour conversation after worship. Going to be speaking about the excitement and all the activities surrounding the start of our new founding executive director, Meg Hamill. If you were here last week, you got to see her over in the corner. She is not a member of our congregation, and don't expect her here on Sundays. But she has a very, very serious and significant job with us, and we want to take time to speak about that and the leadership that's going to be necessary for us to work with her over the next several years. So I hope you can be here for that. And then finally, gosh, so many announcements, which only means we have so much good happening. In addition to getting to hear the story wrens during this hour, if you're able to stay and help us do a little setting up, and if you were able to bring anything with you, there is a wonderful Friendsgiving potluck fundraiser happening at noon here with the Compass parents, Last Sunday, we got Cindy Bertram was here to let us know about their work supporting non-binary children and youth in our community. And they're doing their first ever fundraiser here starting at noon. So we've partnered with them and made things a little interesting with our after-hour coffee and snacks and community time. So you're going to notice our setup is a little different this Sunday. That's all in service of helping this fundraiser to happen at noon. And if you stay till noon or go home and come back, you get to hear the story runs again at noon. So it's going to be a really exciting Sunday here. Thank you for being with us. Having offered all of that, I welcome you to take a big, slow breath in and out and fully arrive here to worship. To hold within you the symbol of uniqueness, each glass unique and different, as you are unique and different. And to welcome Theudine to light the candles of our sanctuary after a short introduction from Vicki Bottleson and the story wrens to the music we'll enjoy as our candles are lit. Let's begin.
But I'll talk a little louder. But hopefully you'll be able to hear us all right. But it was written centuries ago as sort of what I think of as a marketing campaign. It became very popular. It was printed on broadsides and passed around, and everybody knew the song about Mad Tom and Mad Maudlin. It was written to tell people not to be so afraid of the homeless and beggars on the streets that were from Bethlehem, which became Bedlam, which was the men's insane asylum, and the Magdalene House, which was the women's insane asylum. So this is a song that's very old and well known at Renaissance fairs, and and back in the day was a public service announcement, I guess you could say. All right, then. Thank you for lighting the candles while we do this. Oh, 1 second. New string. Ready? For to see Mad Tom of Bethlehem, 10,000 miles I've traveled, Mad Maudlin goes on dirty toes, for to save her shoes from ground.
Good morning. I am going to read the Lord's Prayer, translated from the Aramaic by Neil Douglas Klotz, with edits by Gabriela de Golia, our very own right here. O birther, Father, or are we supposed to say this together? Sorry about that. So join me. I didn't know. O birther, Father, Mother, Parent of the cosmos, focus your light within us. Make it useful as the rays of a beacon show the way. Create your kingdom of unity now through our fiery hearts and willing hands. Your desire then acts with ours. As in all light, so in all forms. Produce in us, for us, the possible. Illuminate each next right step toward you, toward home. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us. Release the strands we hold of others' guilt. Don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what blocks us from true purpose. To you belongs each fertile function. Out of you, the astonishing fire that gives vibrancy to the cosmos. Truly, power to these statements. May they be the ground from which our actions grow. Amen.
Being very careful of that wonderful harp there. Did you know, I've already forgotten her name, but I had a wonderful brief conversation with the harpist who told me that that harp is homemade. Whoop! Didn't matter. It does matter. You are welcome all to rise as you're able and join me in singing Spirit of Gentleness. Confounded with idols and lies, then you spoke through your prophets to open their eyes. Spirit of gentleness, flow through the wilderness, calling and free. Spirit of restlessness, hold me from placidness, wind on the sea. You call from tomorrow
village of sorrow, the captives dream dreams. Our women see visions, our men clear their eyes with bold new decisions. Your people arise. Spirit of gentleness, flow through the wilderness, calling and free. Spirit of restlessness, stir me from placidness, wind on the sea. Beautiful.
So hello again, everyone. My name's Gabriela de Golia. It's a pleasure to be here from Vermont. I can wear sleeveless dresses and not freeze to death, and it's amazing. Thank you for welcoming my partner, Theo, and me here for 2 weeks. And I'm excited to be helping with worship today. You'll see in an insert in your bulletin, there's a poem called Tincture by Andrea Gibson, a recently passed non-binary poet. I highly encourage you to read the poem. It's a beautiful piece, especially in this season of Trans Day of Remembrance, and as we just really focus on inclusion for queer and trans folks today in the service and of course outside of service. So highly, highly recommend that you read Andrea Gibson's poem here and just look up their work. It's truly amazing. And just flowing, as Jason said, through the order of worship, the prayer for silence today, I'm going to combine it with just a gentle invitation into an embodied practice, which you're invited to take up as you wish. If it doesn't feel resonant, just enjoy silence within your own self. But this is going to be actually an exploration of non-binariness, regardless of our gender, regardless of our sexual orientation. I'm just going to invite you during this period of prayerful silence to just explore a sort of exploration, a breaking of binaries within yourself as part of prayer. So if you're willing and wanting, please feel free to find a comfortable position with your body. Even just 5% more comfortable than you already are is great. If you want to close your eyes, you're welcome to, but if that's not comfortable, just keep a light gaze in front of you. And just follow your breathing or some other rhythm of your body or the environment, just settling into the space. And then bring to consciousness anything within you, your body, your personality, or your life, or your environment that feels like oppositional categories that might be related to gender, that might be related to opinions. Maybe you're a minimalist who also likes to collect a lot of things. Whatever it is that feels like a bit of a contradiction in your life, just feel free to bring it to consciousness. And just breathe in space within and around that binary. And just see what it's like to vacillate between one side and the other, just making space for each. And then at some point, if it feels possible, see if you can actually hold both or stand in both at the same time, knowing that the mystery undergirding all of reality is big enough to hold both of those things. And just see if you can tap into that deep, infinite expansiveness as well. And we'll just rest here for a minute or so. seeing if we can make space like that within ourselves. Whatever space we were able to make or not make for holding a seemingly contradictory thing, bless those contradictions and bless the capacity that we have and can cultivate to hold more and more of it. And now for more music.
I wanted to note a wonderful invitation to holding more, as Gabriela so beautifully said there. Thew, you unknowingly unbinaried our very ancient practice of making a single circle in between each of the candles. Did anybody notice? He made two. Nobody's ever done that before. Nicely done. The other thing we're going to do this morning is to open ourselves to practices of worship that are unfamiliar to ourselves. You, if you've been here a while, may remember that we took a step on a Sunday to sing a very popular evangelical praise song at the encouragement of one of our visitors who had a history in this. And so we took a song we were about to sing, Open the Eyes of My Heart Now, and with the help of the band, thank you to all our musicians, and put together something I hope you will enjoy singing now as a something more, a we only don't do it one way kind of expression, even with music in our midst. So won't you rise as you're able as we sing Open the Eyes of My Heart Now. If you don't know this melody, you'll know it soon. Here we go. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to be loved. Let's sing that again. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to be loved. To make love real upon the earth, shining like a light in the darkness, sharing the power of love with every person, no exception. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to be loved. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart.
the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to be loved. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to be loved. Make love real upon the earth, shining like a light in the darkness, sharing the power of love with every person, no exception. Make love real upon the earth, shining like a light in the darkness, sharing the power of love with every person, no exception. Open the eyes of my heart now. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see love. I want to be loved. Oh, you're so good.
That was beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read some sacred readings from Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Mark your days such that the time of hole making, the Sabbath, is readily noticeable to you when it arrives. Practice it such that you remain free of immature action and unripe timing. The second reading is from Mark chapter 2, verses 23 to 28a. And it happened that Jesus passed through fields of grain during the time of hole making, the Sabbath. And his disciples began to fill their empty baskets with ears of grain as they walked amongst abundance, in anticipation, filling their empty, hungry bodies. And the purists said to him, "Look, why do they do what is unsanctioned on the Sabbath?" And Jesus says to them, "Don't you remember what David did when he was empty and in need, as well as those with him? How he entered the house of God in the days of the chief priest Abiathar, and filled his vessel with the loaves of the bread set aside for God's mouth, which is unsanctioned for any but the priest to do, and also filled the mouths of those who were with him. And he says to them, the time of hole making was established for the sake of those who are empty and in need of replenishment, not those who are empty for the sake of that which is already full." And the third reading is from Father Patrick Cheng, Radical Love. Christian theology itself is a fundamentally queer enterprise because it also challenges and deconstructs, through radical love, all kinds of binary categories that on the surface seem fixed and unchangeable, such as life versus death or divine versus human, but that ultimately are fluid and malleable.
Thank you for that beautiful reading, Star. Similarly to last week, where we did a community response before the ministerial pastoral reflection, I want to invite anyone for whom something was stirred in you from hearing these passages to just say what came up from you, whether it was a question, a curiosity, an excitement, what the heck was that about? Anything at all is welcome to be shared. And just note that apparently the traveling mic is not working today. So if you could speak up, and then I will repeat what you say into the mic so that those who are watching virtually can hear. That would be wonderful. And I'll just quickly clarify that these readings that we read today are the same ones that were read last week. Last week they were a bit more traditional in terms of their translation from David Bentley Hart or the NRSV UE. But these ones are ones that I heavily tweaked based on my own etymological studies of ancient Hebrew, ancient Greek, and ancient Aramaic. As a process of what Patrick Chang here says of queering, a queering enterprise where we break from convention in the hopes of accessing a deeper essence than might have become readily visible because of, that habit of we're just doing it because we've always done it this way, and now we've forgotten why it is that we're doing it this way. So if you've never seen this translation, that is why, because I heavily edited them. But would love to hear anything and anything at all that was stirred in you. It doesn't have to be academically mind-blowing. It can be simple.
Categories that are fluid and malleable.
That stood out to you. Categories that are fluid and malleable. What? I'd love to hear more about why it stood out for you.
It's that our minds get stuck in categories.
Mm-hmm.
But when you let the categories become fluid and malleable, you find a new openness. You find a new way of being in relationship.
Oh, thank you for that. Right. The veering from convention so as to open us up to new possibilities. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Primarily with relation to the second reading about how oftentimes binaries that exist in society with regard to behavior, in fact, end up making the poor poorer and restricting the behaviors of those who already have less. And that in particular makes me think about gender binaries and about how we restrict and control the behaviors of people we view as lesser.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the way that doing something as we've always done it ends up becoming a prison for especially those who are most marginalized, but even those who are privileged, how just even all of our thinking becomes ossified such that we all become trapped, but especially those on the margins, all the more squashed. Thank you for lifting that up. Yeah, Barton.
It provided for me, I think that was Corey, yeah, based on what Corey said, it provided for me almost like a grace and compassion for myself, or allowing myself, when you said to, expand, that both of those may exist within. So I felt a sense of calm and peace and a grace to self.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Right, the way that sometimes binaries, when we hold too tightly to them, the tension it creates, it's exhausting. And when we just allow, maybe there's more space than that, just the relief that's felt. Yeah, thank you. Beautiful. Any other?
I really responded to the Sabbath reading, Exodus, and reminding myself that I need to remain free of immature action and unright timing. That's so good.
Yeah.
Doesn't come that way in your wisdom. It's lovely to hear it your way.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, the immature action and unripe timing. Many of you might know this, but a lot of people in the time and place where Jesus lived, even though they might have known some ancient Hebrew, they were largely speaking Aramaic. They weren't speaking what is actually written as Hebrew in the Bible. That would kind of be equivalent to a lot of people speaking Latin these days. If they were versed in biblical Hebrew, that's kind of like scholars being versed in Latin these days. So Aramaic as a language, it speaks of the word for good and for evil are the same as ripe and unripe. So evilness is not some kind of moralistic category, but rather something just being done at the wrong time or in the wrong place. So that was part of what inspired that immature action and unripe timing. So much of what ends up feeling like, oh, that was a wrongdoing or that was evil, so much of it is just about timing and placement. And Sabbath as a way where we allow ourselves space to really feel into, time and place. It helps to prevent that kind of unripeness from emerging. So just thank you for lifting that up. Appreciate it. Was that a hand I saw? I wasn't sure. Yeah.
It was thinking about the ripe versus unripe. This is fascinating, but I was thinking that it's not necessarily about timing, but about growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think of people, or when things are unkind, that there is a lack of knowledge that might come with age or with growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think of, I don't know, evil, it's so dualistic, evil versus not evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's ripe and unripe, it just kind of takes the judgment away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of growth as becoming more ripe, less evil, less force.
Right. Oh, I love what you're saying. Right. How something that's if we eat something that's unripe, we can really cause some GI issues. It's very uncomfortable. So to your point, yes. And also what you're bringing to mind also makes me think of like when we eat something that's overripe, right? That's rotting. How that can also sometimes be a problem, which is why the younger generations sometimes are a way of reinvigorating a freshness. Whether it's younger by age or younger in terms of other like thought modalities or whatnot, but just that, what you're saying, growing to ripeness, and also when something is on the way out, just letting it become compost, to feed the garden, right, yeah. Thank you for pointing that out, that's so beautiful. Any last thoughts before I share some of my own? Yes. Right. Filling what is empty and allowing what's empty to be filled. Just thank you for pointing out that the act of balancing the heart of Sabbath is to rebalance scales that are out of place. So just thank you for lifting that up. It's a beautiful segue into some of my own thoughts that I would just love to share with you today on this passage and these passages and other things. But before I do that, would you enter into a moment of prayer with me, please? May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be reflections of you, O God, our source and our salvation, our beginning and our end. Amen. So wherever I'm at, I love to start my reflections, my sermons with questions for all of us, including myself. And so I'm going to do that here, just to stir some possibilities, some thoughts in the mind, which are, have you ever failed to conform in some way? Have you ever broken rules or failed to comply with the law, whether that be legal or cultural law? Sounds like a lot of you have. Have you ever felt like you straddle binaries? Like you're a walking contradiction? Or have you felt like you belong to an entirely different category than the options presented to you? I see some head nods. Relatedly, has something ever possessed you such that you broke free from sanctioned categories towards new horizons and into new possibilities? And have you ever seen the vast world that exists beyond simplistic dualisms like right and wrong, good and bad, worthy, unworthy, pure, impure, perfect, imperfect? Have you seen that vast world? I'll stop with all the questions and just say that I hope your answer to all of them is yes. And if not, I hope that changes soon. Because the refusal and the inability to conform to binaries is key to our very aliveness, personal and communal. Breaking out of binaries and too small categories is required for any lineage, any species, any tradition, any culture to survive the test of time. And to demonstrate this, allow me to give just one tiny biological example of how nonconformity, binary and boundary dissolution, and rule breaking facilitates aliveness. Enter mitochondria and prokaryotes, two ancient microorganisms that about 2 billion years ago said, "To hell with the boundaries dividing us and the binary of you versus me. I want to make love to you." And these two microorganismic beings fused together, despite cellular purists on each side of their divide saying, "What are you doing? We don't associate with them." And it is this rogue, unlawful union between previously distinct microorganisms that made us possible. The very cells of our bodies are the product of a fusion between teeny tiny mitochondria and prokaryotes. All humans, all animals, all plants, all fungi, all seaweed, and a number of unicellular organisms are the direct result of this defiant lovemaking. We are here because they and countless other beings dared to break from their version of convention, to perpetuate life further on its grotesquely glorious journey. Resonantly, on a more macroscopic level, so going up a bit here in terms of the scale, nonconformity and rule breaking is how any species, any lineage, any ecosystem, any culture, any tradition remains alive and intact, even as it might change shape. And that might sound ironic or oxymoronic, but if you think about it, it's just evolution. Evolution is one long case of genetic rule breaking. And if we don't break rules to break free from convention, metaphorically and literally, we eventually suffocate and go extinct from it, literally and metaphorically. Case in point, every long-standing culture or tradition that we know of today was ignited by some sort of prophet or visionary. All prophets and visionaries worthy of their title broke the rules of their day and place, refusing to abide by the limited and limiting conventions of their culture. And that is why their culture survived. Because culture and tradition is sustained when prophets and visionaries break from convention and save their people from that awful demise known as death by "we've always done it this way." Often to much dismay from those around them and to much praise from those in future eras, visionaries reinvigorate the ancient flame of creativity by initiating entire artistic movements. They trigger scientific revolutions by shattering old paradigms and revealing deeper truths about the cosmos. They even salvage religions and congregations by saving them from snuffing out into insignificance, by transforming sanctuaries and liturgies into new devotional processes. In so doing, prophets and visionaries help lineages access the deeper essence of who they are. That essence that pulsates between simplistic binaries and claustrophobic norms that we grow accustomed to. And that, my friends, is what today's passages speak so beautifully to. Here, Jesus models what it means to remember and keep holy, the deepest tenors of his tradition by dissolving the deadening logic of purist interpretation that long plagued his tradition. He divested from dualistic notions of what's right and wrong to do on the Sabbath, reminding people of Sabbath's fundamental essence, a time to rebalance the bodies of those so prone to internal and external disequilibrium. Whatever is out of balance, Sabbath is a time to rebalance it. That can look like fasting if we're overfull to begin with. But if we're undernourished, Sabbath invites us to replenish ourselves, even if it means laboring a little to get a little food. By reinterpreting the letter of the law anew, Jesus invited people back to the law's whole-making spirit. Because Jesus so thoroughly troubled conventional understandings of his day by dismantling various binaries, namely various categories of right and wrong, he was repeatedly described by authorities and even commoners as unlawful, impure, immoral. Resonantly, but also as a bit of a clapback to that, in some contemporary theological circles, Jesus' nonconformist message has been positively described as queer and trans. Not so much because he's thought to have slept with men or been assigned female at birth, though I guess who knows, but because queerness and transness are nonconformist experiences par excellence. If we stop thinking of queerness and transness simply as what genders we're attracted to or aligned with despite our assigned sex, and realize instead that they encompass myriad ways of declaring, I free myself, my body, and the love that grips me from the limited frameworks of my too small culture. Well, isn't that precisely what Jesus did through and through? Did he not defy the love norms of his day by declaring all people worthy of love, even the most sinful and despised? Did he not transgress gendered norms by treating women as his equals, by welcoming children to him like a feminine mother, by weeping at his male friend's tomb like a gay lover, and by undergoing multiple transitions known as a transfiguration and resurrection, such that his closest kin couldn't even recognize him when he finally came out to them? Ain't that the essence of queerness through and through? Ain't that the essence of transness through and through? The God of Christian scripture is many things, including queer and trans, at the deepest, most subtle, and also most obvious levels. Hallelujah. Friends, if we're to survive an era that is riddled with dualistic binaries and purist notions of what is right and wrong, then we must embrace the good news of queerness, of transness, of nonconformist binary breakage, so as to transfigure ourselves and all of reality into the most surprising and radiant version of it all that it could possibly be. So questions. How many beings can we willingly fuse with, literally or metaphorically, to create new, beautiful, complex life forms of the future? What binaries can we dismantle within our minds and hearts such that replenishment comes easier to us? What queer transfigurations can we embody no matter our gender or sexual orientation, such that notions of love and self and other are further freed, so that we each become more deeply free at the very sight of us, even if we cannot recognize ourselves or each other. And if queer and trans are verbs, how might we further queer and transfigure the cosmos? I'll let you answer those questions however makes most sense to you. But to close, I offer a prayer. May we defy the categories that shackle us, whatever those might be. May that unshackling free not only us, but those around us. May we find other beings to fuse with, not to erase ourselves, but to make possible a wondrous future. May we break from convention that the deep essence of tradition be remembered and kept whole, kept holy. And may our participation in life's mysterious process transfigure all of us and all of reality. May all of this be so, and a blessed Sabbath to you. Amen.
It's a wonderful day when the preacher gets to go to church. Thank you. Yeah. And welcome you all to just a moment of silence here to practice one of the great remembrance and keepings of this sanctuary, which is to make a small commitment based on whatever it is that you have experienced, sung, read, heard, or changed your mind. What small choice can you make this day to keep this week inspired by this hour? Let's take that time now. May it be so. Encourage you in our time and gathering afterwards to share your small commitments with each other. It's a wonderful way to begin a conversation. And if you didn't find one right now, it might be that during that conversation you could find it. In that same way, we complete a circle of generosity now by passing baskets as we sing. We call it the circle of generosity because giving is not a one-way thing in this community. We understand that it actually first is a request by this community to ask what you need. So if you have a need today, feel free to take a scrap of paper or to share with anyone here where you imagine this community might become a greater servant of your individual personal need or of the greater communal need here. And if you feel that your circle of generosity is in a place where, and using today's language, you are full, and your choice is then to need to make a little space to give, we make that place as well as we pass baskets this morning for any offerings that you might have. Let's bring our musicians back up here. That's you. Yeah. Yeah. You will only add to it.
All right, so we're going to do a medieval torch song. Celtic torch song. guess it's self-explanatory.
The streets of Derry.
My love is Lena, the fairest younger man that ever was in this country. But how to win him, I do not know it, for he's been sentenced all for to die. As he walked up the streets of Derry, he walked so proud and so manfully. He was found more like a commanding officer than a man to die on the gallows tree. The first time he went to climb the ladder, his blooming face begun to pale, and this he said, "Is there no assistance? Is there no relief in this Derry jail?" The next time he went to climb the ladder, his beloved father was standing by. Come here, my beloved father, and speak one word to me before I die. I wonder what became of my true love, and what has kept her so far from me. Or does she think it a great dishonor for to see me die on the gallows tree? He looked around and he saw her coming, and she was dressed up in woolen so fine, and there he sat, and she draws nearer, more swifter than the full wind. Come down off that weary gallows, for I've got your pardon, love, from the king. united, and I'll crown my Johnny with a laurel green.
And if that weren't enough, we are going to sing our way home. And boy, with that performance, have we just not proved that this is one of the best sounding rooms in town? We're going to have serious amounts of music here in the coming years, friends. Let's rise as you were able and sing. Scott, if you would advance the slide for us. May the road rise up to meet you. And do take in the eyes of one across, near, around, behind. And know that we sing this blessing not just for ourselves, but for all those who gather.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be on your back. May all the rains fall with tenderness on the fields and forgotten tracks. May your hardened heart be woken by the soft and distant song of all you left here unspoken, all the shards you keep stepping upon. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be on your back. May all the rains fall with tenderness on the field and forgotten track. May your hardened heart be woken by a soft and distant song of all you left here unspoken, all the shards you keep stepping upon.
If you'd like your glass pieces hung in the sukkah, we'll have a ladder outside soon. If you don't feel comfortable joining up, and others will be happy to hang these for you. So bring your glass pieces out to the sukkah now if you would.